24 little hours. What a difference a day makes. That's all the time that's passed since yesterday's video, and what a difference. Welcome, Simon's Trading Channel. Thank you for joining me. Happy midweek. It's now Wednesday. So let's get straight on with the price action analysis. So you can see here I'm on a 4-hour time frame. And yesterday, price was kind of around here when I did my video. And one of the things I said was that the first thing that Bitcoin needs to really to shrug off this developing downtrend on the 4-hour time frame was close back above the midpoint of the Bollinger Band, which it has done very nicely on 2 4-hour candle closures. It's now getting some resistance back up at, Bitcoin with a lot of selling pressure and, and therefore resistance. And it certainly is again. But this is more consolidation, which is in the context of a profound uptrend. Consolidation is bodes well for the future because the longer that price action consolidates without breaking the trend, the bigger the likely move to follow the consolidation. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe it will march on to a new all-time highs this week. Maybe not. I think probably not, but we'll see. Now you can see momentum has also crossed above the zero line. And when did it happen? Yeah, so it happened on the last candle, so there has been a closure, and it will remain with upside posturing as long as Bitcoin is above 90.5 on 4-hour closures, which it looks like it's going to be certainly for this 4-hour closure. So yeah, all good in the hood on a 4-hour time frame. The daily, wow, lovely bullish daily candle, and yesterday was interesting really because I was pointing at the price action being in and around the midpoint of the Bollinger Band and said that price could easily come down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band as long as it didn't then extend below, because that would be volatility expansion to the downside. And Bitcoin obviously listened because today has been an upside day, and now it's back at the top, of the Bollinger Band. So if consolidation is going to continue on this daily time frame, then you'd expect the daily not to close too much higher above where it is at the moment, and certainly not close too much above sort of 102. So that's for further consolidation, i.e. continued sideways Bollinger Bands that aren't getting wider. If Bitcoin starts to close back above 102, likely above 103.5 on a daily time frame, then that's going to see volatility expansion to the upside, which indeed will be another impulsive move. Just like back over here, consolidate, big green candle, impulsive move to the upside. So yeah, interesting to see that for what is now continued consolidation in the context of a stronger trend. You can see the MACD hasn't changed too much, but then it hasn't had a closure yet. However, it will turn green as long as Bitcoin closes today, which will be in 3.5 hours above, call it 100,500. So it's got a bit of a buffer to indeed turn the MACD green. Now, because it's midweek, just want to check in on CME, see what the weekly is looking like. And the weekly is looking like this week, where the beginning of the week, big sell-off. And then, I know it's not the end of the week yet, but it's Wednesday, so there's how many days left? 2 days, 2 hours left until CME closes this weekly candle. And you can see that today, basically, it has, or Bitcoin has pulled its socks back up from where they had rolled down to at the beginning of the week. So this, however, is basically sideways on the weekly time frame. And it might be, depending on where this week closes, that we start to see volatility cool off on the weekly time frame. You can see the momentum will still remain to the upside and in green, and indeed green on the MACD here, as long as Bitcoin closes on CME a weekly time frame above 91,000, which seems fairly likely. What was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Just bear in mind that, it's only been since the breakout week, which was here. If I include that, 1, 2, 3, and then it's kind of been consolidating since. But let's just count them up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th week following a 32-week consolidation. Let's see. I think it was 32 weeks to the breakout week. 35-week consolidation. So you kind of think to yourself, all right, maybe there's no impulsive move on a weekly time frame this week, but 35 weeks sideways, I think it's going to be more than just a handful of weeks in a impulsive upside move. Just seems logical. Much like here, what was it, 32 weeks followed by basically two impulsive moves with a consolidation in between. But yeah, just seems like there's going to be more legs in this move. Now, clearly, that's the weekly time frame. Hasn't really pulled back on a weekly time frame yet, so you can't really talk about, pullback targets or what then may happen with regards to momentum and divergence. But this is still, despite today, a cooling off of momentum. So even if there is, I've got the RSI up there, but never mind. So even if there is another impulsive move, say taking Bitcoin up to maybe 105, excuse me, initially, and then maybe 120, those would be my two ideas. I still think that will likely be then the move that then initiates some serious bearish divergence on daily time frame, followed by a decent pullback. And it would be unsurprising if that pullback, say it happens from 120, let's be very bullish. If there's a pullback from 120, I would not be surprised if it comes down 20% and gets support somewhere between 98 and 102, something like that. But that's in the future. No one can predict the future. I don't predict the future. I'm just hypothesizing. Okay, that'll do for the video. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe. And join me tomorrow for Thursday's price action analysis. Take care.